Hello, and welcome to Around the County with Recreation and Parks. In this episode, we'll show you some incredible opportunities for adaptive athletes. We'll take you on a road trip to visit some of our beautiful water access sites, and we'll discuss the dangers of dehydration. But to start us off, we have a very special addition to this episode. Our director, Rick Anthony, had an opportunity to talk with John Makel, who was not only a Negro League baseball player with the Galesville Hot Sox, but was also the first African American director of the Anne Arundel County Department of Recreation and Parks.
Good afternoon. This is Rick Anthony. I am the Director of Recreation and Parks for Anne Arundel County, and we are here at Hot Sox Field at the historic Wilson Park, a property that we just acquired, I believe less than a year ago. And I have with me here a fine gentleman here. His name is John Makel. And John Makel was not only a member of the Hot Sox baseball team back over 40, 50 years ago at least, but he was also the first African-American director, the first director under charter government, the first African-American director of Recreation and Parks. So we welcome John. It's really a privilege to be here to do an interview. So John, can you just give me briefly how long you played on the Hot Sox and maybe a little bit of description of the Negro League at that time?
Well, let's see. I started probably back in 1946 when I was still in high school. And played on up until I went into service in 1952. After I got out of service in 1952, I was signed by the Baltimore Orioles there and went to training camp with them in 1956. Hurt my arm, didn't make out too well, so I came back and played with the Galesville Hot Sox. And I really stopped playing with the Hot Sox probably back in 2001. I stopped playing in 2001 there.
And this field that we currently have was kind of your home field. And this was a place, I guess, where everybody would come and you would have food and fellowship. And it was quite a gathering for the community. Is that correct?
That's correct. It was really, back in those days, was really nothing else to do. You didn't have any movies to go to, didn't have any television to watch, no Oriole games to go to. So people congregated at these sandlot baseball games. This was one of the fields that was pretty well kept up and pretty well managed and fairly well centrally located to this particular area. So people used to come around to see the baseball game, and a lot of them mostly to socialize and eat the food, which consisted of crab cakes, fish, hot dogs, potato salad, and so forth. So it was really an outing for people.
And that's very good. I'm sure there were a lot of great times here at the field. One thing that struck me was that the caliber of players that were actually on the Hot Sox. Obviously, at that time, Negroes weren't permitted to play in the professional leagues. But from what I hear, not only from the Hot Sox, but even the teams that you played against, there were some significant names that could have been stars had they been permitted to play in the major leagues. Is that correct? And can you name a few of those?
Sure, that's absolutely correct. I think one of the main ones is a pitcher by the name of Tommy Sesker, S-E-S-K-E-R. He was really a fireball pitcher, and given the fact that he was not white, this allowed him to play in the Major League Baseball. He went through some scouting combines, but he never made out too well. Then was another player by the name of Monroe Turner. He was really a gifted outfielder, good arm, but he couldn't hit the curve ball. He went to spring training, and they found it out in a hurry there. We played every year we played either a Negro National League or a Negro American League team. Homestead Graves, Newark Eagles, Baltimore Eli Giants, Indianapolis Clowns. And we used to draw a whole bunch of people, 500 to 600 to 700 people used to gather at these games. As a boy, I remember some of the names, guys who matriculated to the major leagues. Junior Gilliam, Joe Black. Some guys didn't make it to the major leagues. Butch Kimbrough played for the Eli Giants. Willie Wells is a famous Willie Wells is a baseball player. Luke Easter actually played here, there. But a whole bunch of ball players. And I used to, as a young man, be amazed. Guys, they used to sit me down and talk to me about the exploits and what have you. So it was a very interesting experience for me. Something I'll always treasure and remember.
We certainly treasure having this field and having you out here today. And our plans are eventually to restore this field. And we're going to invite you back, and maybe anyone else that you would recommend to be a part of that. We definitely look forward to that. Now, just kind of shifting gears, as your time as a director at Rec and Parks, that was back in the 60s. What were your challenges there, especially being probably one of the only African-American department heads at that time?
Well, not one of the only department head at that time. Mr. Joseph Alton Sr. was the sheriff at one time. Then he was elected to county executive. Now, while he was sheriff, he used to travel around with the local basketball team, which featured Pip Moyer and some other guys, and including me. And he got to know us real well. So when he was elected as county executive, he thought that, well, being a politician, well, it would be a good job to go ahead and appoint a black person to be the head of the Department of Recreation and Parks. So he sat down at his house and asked me whether I'd be interested in the job. I told him no, I would not be interested in the job there, because I was going back to school, wanting to be get my master's degree in guidance and counseling. So he let me go. 2 weeks later, he called me back again and told me how much it would mean to the community and to everybody in general if I took the job. So I relented and decided, yes, I would go ahead and take the job. That was back in 1968 there. So when I first took the job, it was an interesting experience. Number one, I didn't have any experience in recreation and parks there, so I had to do a lot of homework and a lot of on-the-job experience is what it amounts to. So things were fairly well set up when I went there, and as far as the organization was concerned, and the people were in place. But strangely enough, all they had in the department were white men. There weren't any women at all, and of course, no blacks. And it wasn't all that bad. Most of them all were congenial and cooperated with me. But there was always the trust factor. Who could you trust there? And I find most of them were very trustworthy, very amenable in working with me. But my challenge was working with other department heads. Some of them just didn't think I had the moxie to run a department, so I had to battle through that. And Mr. Alton was very supportive. He just let me run the department the way I wanted to. He never interfered with me at all. He just let me do what I thought was best for the Recreation and Parks Department there.
Well, that's fascinating. It really is. And I look forward to getting to know you a little bit better and to kind of pick your brain, because certainly you are instrumental to the success that we're having right now. You are the foundation that was laid for this department. And it's my honor, sir, to kind of walk in your shoes. I appreciate you coming out today and giving us your time. And again, look forward to some continuing communications with you. Is there anything else you would like to say when we close?
Well, I would just like to say one of my challenges when I took over this job was the use of schools for community recreation programs there. So I had to go before the Board of Education a number of times and communicate with my administration and a lot of school officials there to get that done. So I was fairly much on the ground floor and getting that work done. We worked out a good partnership between the Recreation and Parks Department and the school officials there.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up, because that's probably a little information that we did not realize. But one of the things I can tell you is that that relationship has been successful even to this day. And not only that, is if I would be I would venture out to say that you might have started a model for the entire state, because we're getting other rec and parks departments that will call us for that agreement and talk about the relationship we have with the Board of Ed. So we definitely thank you for that. Thank you for that history lesson, and I'll make sure that I'll pass on the credit to who it deserves. And you were one of the first ones to do that. We do thank you for that, and we enjoy that relationship to this day. Thank you so much, sir. Rick Anthony, Rec and Parks.
Well, there's a great deal of history there. If you get a chance, please come down to Galesville and check out the Hot Sox field. Next, let's see what's happening in our At Play segment, where some special athletes are proving there are no limits to what you can do on and off the field.
What a great day. We are here today at Freedom Field at Lake Waterford Park for our opening day of Challenger Baseball. This is just one of our adaptive sports that we have in our recreation division, and we are just so thrilled to be here. This is a community day where we have the Severna Park baseball comes out to support us, the Orioles come out to support us.
Might be out of town, but this bird stayed behind. We'll have to see y'all.
Hey, look, Scott! High five!
I love this because it's just so much fun. I get to play the sport I love while still being able to hang out with my friends. And it's about my 6th or 7th year playing.
This is my 4th year doing Challenger Baseball, and every year my teammates and I get excited to come out here because, I mean, everybody here loves the game of baseball, and it's really just a great opportunity to play the game with some people who may not get the opportunity to do so otherwise.
All right, here we go. Scott Antlitz, let's play ball. It's a shot up the middle. Scott Antlitz, safe at first base. All right. Our next batter.
Hi, we are Adaptive Rec for Anne Arundel County. Every week and weekend we come out here onto Freedom Field and we play sports such as baseball, football, soccer, and tennis. Personally, I have been doing this. This is my 7th summer and my about 5th year working. And then next to me are my coworkers, Anthony and Keegan. So we'll see what they have to say.
Hi, I'm Keegan. I've worked for Parks and Rec for about 4 years now. When I'm not doing adaptive sports, we also do park management and the summer camp. But as far as sports go, our tennis programs are really great. It's a lot about adapting the sports to the kids so they can all have a great time and have equally as much fun as someone that has better skills than another kid.
I've been doing this for about 4 years now. I originally started working at the park before this, and our supervisor Joey asked me to do this, and so far I've been loving it. It's fun. I get to hang out with kids, play around, be active with my own self, and help other kids be active too. And that's what I like about the program.
Well, for one thing, I get to be around other kids. Also, I get a lot of exercise.
This year we are blessed to be able to say that we have started a program in the South County area, so we are no longer just up in North County. They have retrofitted a tennis court for us down there to be able to play Challenger baseball, and we also have other sports that we play in the spring and the fall. We have our soccer and flag football and tennis, and we just do a lot of different programs in the sports division to be able to get our youth up and moving. This is one of the biggest things that we have that we need to make sure that our athletes are able to move and be active.
Wow, our adaptive sports programs really are a place for all abilities. It's so exciting to see this program grow in the southern part of the county too. Now let's head to the water for our trailblazing segment and talk about water access in Anne Arundel County.
So Mike, we've got over 500 miles of shore access in Anne Arundel County. How can we get people out there to use them?
Well, it's more difficult than you might think, actually. The county has a little over 500 miles of shoreline, as you say. The vast majority of it is in private ownership. It's people who own waterfront homes, water-privileged communities. Our group started looking at this question a few years ago, and the first thing we did was create an inventory of publicly owned property, and it was pretty stunning to find that in fact there were thousands of waterfront acres with miles of shoreline that are owned by the public. At that point, much of it was not available for public use, and we've been working with the folks at Rec and Parks trying to make a difference, and we're making progress. Things are getting better.
That's good to hear. So we're here at Beverly Triton Beach Park right now. Can you give us a little bit of information about this park?
Sure. This is an interesting property. It's about 350 acres. It's been in public ownership since 1985, so I guess that's about 30 years ago. Prior to that, it was a commercial beach, and it was before the days of the Bay Bridge and when segregation was the public order of the day, this is where Washingtonians, white Washingtonians, came to get cooled off in the summertime. Now, since 1985, it's been managed by Rec and Parks, and was up until about 2 years ago, it was difficult. You had to get a permit, and it was a complex, highly bureaucratic system. The Access Committee suggested to Rec and Parks that be changed. They were very responsive. So now it's open 7 days a week from basically dawn to dusk is the operating hours. Folks, we're on the Mayo Peninsula down at the end of Route 214. There's some signage if you're alert that you can find your way here. You can get detailed directions at Rec and Parks website. It's a magnificent facility. It's miles of natural sandy shoreline. The water is pretty calm, and it's a great place for a picnic. There are interior trails with inland ponds, and I've encountered turkeys on the trails, and there's bald eagles. You should come here.
So in the last couple of years, Anne Arundel County's been working on improving the public's access to waterfront like this. Can you tell us about a few other of those properties we have?
I can. As I mentioned earlier, we did an inventory and discovered literally dozens of locations, none as magnificent as this, but plenty of places for people to get in. And we've sat down with Rick Anthony, the director, and Chris Carroll is our liaison to our group, and started creating priorities. We now have a car top boat launch in Shadyside Park, which was not available before. We have water access. We're here on the West River today, and these are on the other side, the southern portion. Jack Creek Park is a county-owned park that's now open to the public, and it's right now there's not a boat launch there, but it's certainly a hiking trail that you can come out at on the bayfront. It's quite a magnificent place to go. This is much easier for people to come here. Homeport Farm up on the South River is a property that had languished with a chain across the road for a number of years. That's now open every day and is the only real public access point onto the South River for a car top boat launch. And we've got a whole series of others that we're marching forward on. A couple on the Magathie. There is a ramp. The first ever county boat ramp will open in 2016 at Fort Smallwood Park up in the northern part of the county. And this is, I mean, think about it. 500 miles of shoreline, 14,000 trailered boats, 40,000 boats in total registered in this county, and no boat ramp, with the exception of Sandy Point. So this is a big first step. It's only a first step, and but we're going to get a boat ramp at Fort Smallwood. That's a victory for sure.
So now we're here at Mayo Beach, and I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit about the history of Mayo.
Sure, I'd be glad to. Mayo is a fascinating place. It's one of only 2 beaches in Anne Arundel County that are actually have full health department permits. It's been a beach probably for 75 years. For much of that period, it was operated as a commercial beach, much like Beverly Triton, and visitors came out of D.C. For summer beach activities. This was acquired by the public in 1976, so that's 39 years ago. So it's been in public ownership for longer than you've been alive, I would suspect. It's about 25 acres. It really is a full-service facility. I mean, the beach area itself is magnificent. This must be 1,000 yards of beach, and then there are buildings to host events and facilities. The county runs a camp for special needs kids during the summer, which is well attended and is a very valuable component of the park's offerings. It needs more people. I mean, here we are on this beautiful day, and there just are hardly any people around. So the committee is trying to encourage more public use of this wonderful place. So come and visit.
And what can you tell us about the water access at the beach this summer?
Well, we started working with Rec and Parks trying to... the background is that the park has been strictly available as a rental facility for weddings, corporate parties, and the like. And we suggested that we need more general public access. And again, the department's been responsive. We're pushing and pulling each other a little bit, trying to expand that schedule. Last year, there were 2 or 3 open dates. There are 8 this year, and I think there'll be, as a part of this program, there'll be a schedule up. The next one, it will be in the 21st of July, and there's one in August, one in September, and I think 2 in October, which is a little past beach season. So we're inching our way to increasing public use of the beach. Our goal is to dramatically increase that in the coming years. It's a magnificent facility. It's the public's only beach in this county, and it needs to be a public beach.
For more information about the 2 parks we visited today and Anne Arundel County water access points, please visit us at our website.
New places to launch your canoe or kayak and a brand new boat ramp coming to Anne Arundel County. These are exciting times in a county like ours surrounded by water. Now turning to the sports side and our On the Sideline segment, whether you're playing a competitive sport or just out in the summer heat, dehydration can sneak up on you quickly. Here are some warning signs.
Hi, I'm Georgette Shalhoub with Anne Arundel County Sports Division. I'm here with Dr. Alan Sokoloff. Hello.
And good afternoon.
We're here to talk to you about dehydration and rehydration. Dr. Sokoloff, what are some symptoms of dehydration?
Well, dehydration can occur, it doesn't matter what the weather is, whether it's a bright sunny day or a cloudy day, you can get dehydrated. Some of the signs and symptoms are early fatigue. You can also develop, if you lose as much as 2% of your body fat in water, you can start to get fatigued, to get tired. And if you get fatigued and get tired, you'll get sloppy, you can get injured. If you lose 3 or 4%, you can lose muscle endurance. Even more than that, you lose muscle strength. So it can really have a big effect physically on your body.
When you're competing and exercising and you start to feel a little fatigue, should you just grab a bunch of water and guzzle it down?
Well, the best thing to do is drink water throughout practice, throughout games, and even 2 to 3 hours before if you're going to be involved in a tournament. That way your body doesn't have a chance, it can't play catch up, because if you start to get thirsty, then it's already too late, you're dehydrated.
What about these sports drinks with electrolytes?
Well, sports drinks are good, and all the research is done on adults. Not a lot of work has been done with kids. So what we encourage parents to do is if the kids really want to drink sports drinks, water them down. You can cut it in half or even a third sports drink to 2/3 water and ice, and the kids are happy, you'll save a couple bucks, and they'll stay hydrated.
Great information. Thank you, and we'll see you next time.
That was great information to keep you and your kids on the field and off the sidelines. Up next in the Director's Desk segment, Director Rick Anthony will get in on the summer fun around the county.
Thank you, Carolyn. Rick Anthony here to talk about all about summer here at Recreation and Parks. First thing we have are summer camps. It is not too late to get involved with the summer camp. Whether you want to do just 1 week or finish out the rest of the summer, we have something for everybody. The next thing is our summer concert series. We have great bands in Downs and Quiet Waters Park, and they will be going through September. A combination of blues, classical jazz, and the big band sound. So what a great opportunity for you to come out with your family and friends and enjoy what we have in the parks. I can't leave this segment without talking about water access. We have a great opportunity here, not only the ones that you can bring your own canoes and kayaks to at various car top boat launching spots that we have, just check online, but also at Quiet Waters and Jonas Green. Get an opportunity to try our stand-up paddle boarding, and there's other opportunities for you to rent kayaks and canoes there. So just come on out and enjoy the water. At last, I just want to remind you that fall will be coming up soon, so make sure you check online and get involved with some of our fall rec programs that we have. It'll be filling up soon, so if I were you, I would jump on it as soon as you can in August. Thank you, and back to you, Carolyn.
Well, things are heating up outside, but as you can see, we've got tons of great activities and programs to keep you going all summer long. Make sure to visit our website for a complete listing of all of our programs and events, as well as information about all of our parks and facilities. And make sure to stay tuned for the next episode of Around the County with Recreation and Parks. Until then, keep moving, Anne Arundel County.